WSME, Camp Lejeune, 6 CJ, Jacksonville.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Voters in Ohio turned back an attempt to change the minimum number of votes needed to amend Ohio's constitution from 50 to 6%. It's widely considered a major victory for abortion rights in the state. Former President Trump continues his verbal assault on the special counsel who's brought criminal charges against him in 2 separate cases.
I have a guy, they call him Deranged Jack Smith. He's deranged.
Trump on the stump in New Hampshire, but a federal judge set a hearing for Friday to determine if Trump will be muzzled when it comes to what he can publicly say about the case of him trying to overturn the 2020 election. Now, the first Republican debate will be 2 weeks from tonight in Milwaukee on Fox News. And there's one lucky ticket holder this morning, the record Mega Billions $1.58 billion jackpot. It was sold in Florida. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Live and local. Real Talk starts now.
And a good Wednesday morning to all y'all. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
And I'm Lee Barrows.
And welcome. Let's see if I can get this thing up too loud over there. Yep, I did. Welcome to the Wednesday edition. And we do appreciate you joining us this morning. It is hump day and means we got another 2.5 days to go.
Yes.
Because today will be a half day here shortly. Anyway, on this date, and the year was 1974, you know what happened?
1974?
Uh-huh.
On this date, 1974.
Yeah.
I should know.
Well,
I'm thinking.
Mr. Nixon got on a helicopter and said goodbye.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
I'm out of here. And a few minutes after his helicopter took off, or the helicopter took off, Gerald Ford was sworn in. Never had he been elected to the vice presidency. And so we had an unelected president.
Yes, we did.
For just the rest of that term, though.
Yes.
So anyway, amid all the mess that was going on in those days, I remember it. Y'all were too young to remember much of it, I'm sure.
Well, through the years you learn about it.
Yeah.
And I recall when it happened, yes.
Yeah.
I was old enough then.
Mm-hmm. What a time. Shambles then, shambles now. It's just, that was a clean shambles. It was a clear-cut issue, right?
Yes, it was.
Man, I miss those days. I miss it when it was just really clear, obviously clear what was done, and the man did the right thing. He knew he knew his goat had been discovered. He knew his fish had been fried, and he knew the jig was up. Period.
No pun intended.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it's just too bad we don't have those days back.
And we thought those were dark times at the time.
We really
look
did
where we're at now.
We know. Chump change compared to
Did
now.
you say Trump change?
Chump. Yeah, chump change.
Trump change.
Trump and Trump maybe kind of like, whatever.
I was thinking about that last night. You go back 8-10 years ago and look at us now. Look where we're at now. We have taken so many steps backwards.
I know. We try to move a step forward. We end up 2 steps backwards in everything we do. Well, let me just ask you a question. What is wrong with Donald Trump? What is just wrong with him? Don't answer.
Okay, don't answer it? Okay.
Tell me first what is right with this guy. We know he lives in a glass house. That's the way it is. One that exposes him to pretty much everything, especially his shortcomings. And there are plenty of those to talk about, no doubt about it. But he had some good points.
He did have some. He did. I think he truly does care about America. I will definitely say that.
He loves America, yes.
But he loves himself more, to be honest with you.
I can agree with that.
I think he has difficulty listening to others. As many people in his type of authority position does. I think he it's very obvious. It became very clear to me during his presidency. He didn't even listen to his family members.
No, he doesn't.
So if you aren't willing to listen to any kind of guidance, and
that's what you should
check our radio. Yes, we're not on the air.
Okay, we're not on the air, but we are now on the
We
air.
are
So
now.
I'm going to start all over again.
Let's
Okay.
do that.
Good Wednesday morning. Did I do it right the second time?
You got to say your name.
Yep. I'm Rayford Brown,
I'm Kelly Knapp.
And I'm Lee Barrows.
and we've been talking a lot of stuff here. So anyway,
Little glitch in the system. We're
politically,
good.
on this date, let's go back in 1974. Why didn't we even? I didn't even know that. I thought I had listened to it. I usually do. Anyway, on this date, 1974, Gerald Ford became president just moments after Richard Nixon got aboard a helicopter and headed away, rode off into the sunset.
Where
As they
did he
say.
go, by the way?
I do it.
Wasn't he
so-
from
what-
Texas? Where was
did
he from?
Did he go to? Did he go to California?
I don't know. I don't even know.
I
where
don't-
he was from.
yeah,
I'll have to
I'm
check it
I'm just
out.
curious. I don't know why I'm
I
curious
don't
about that. I was
even
5
know
years
either.
old when that
Wasn't
happened.
anyway. We're just kind of comparing those days to today, and those days, everything was kind of clean cut. It was a dirty, as Lee said earlier, a dark time in our history. In those days, we were all like, "What in the world?" The Watergate hearings and the lies, the cover-ups, and everything else, and the actual criminal activity, and people went to prison for it.
They returned to
He
California.
did
Yeah,
go
I
to
thought
California.
it was
It's
California.
Yeah.
But today, we've got so much going on that is just, it made those crimes of yesteryear look simple and just clear cut.
Yeah, and it's like I said earlier, 10 years ago, I mean, we were looking good in the nation.
We were.
We were.
Yeah.
And look where we're at now. It's just like you said, in Rayford at 7 o'clock, Fox News. What was the story on Fox News?
It's Trump, and Trump.
I turned on local TV this morning on the
Trump,
news,
Trump,
and the
Trump, Trump,
first
and Trump.
story I heard was Trump.
Yeah. And we're going to talk
Well,
about it
every
here too.
day.
Yeah, because it's in the news every day. We've got
Yes.
to talk about it. My question was, what is wrong with this guy? What's going on with him?
Well, Kelly brought up the fact that, he doesn't want to listen to the people around him.
Including his family.
And back that last couple months that he was in the White House, there was a lot of issues with his staff and his family trying to tell him,
Yes.
Yep.
you've got to stop this. You've got to stop
Tweeting, whatever.
stop making these statements. His own staff was telling him he was going to lose the election
Yes, they
if
did.
he didn't change and if he didn't do certain things. And he refused to listen to them.
And he's still refusing.
He's still refusing, yes. And it's like we were saying, he had some great policies when he was president.
I thought that his plans to get this country back on track were good.
I thought so too.
One
I
of them, of
agree.
course, one of the biggest problems that I still see, is this influx of illegals coming into this country.
Yes, the
And if you
borders.
just go ask the mayor of New York City about it. They got 57,000 more than they can house.
Yes.
I'm sorry, and
Yeah,
now
but-
they got to build a tent city. Come
Yeah,
on.
Tent City. That's destroying New York.
Other than Trump's deranged enemies, and there are a lot of deranged enemies out there. We know that. Not a lot of his critics have gotten overly personal with him. They don't talk about things. From time to time, you'll hear something about his hair, but that's about it. That's kind of like a joking thing, right?
And his orange
Or
glow.
his orange whatever's.
Mhm.
But you don't have a lot of people attacking him for his looks or his shortcomings, of which there are more than we probably even know about. So why does he think it's okay to attack other people for obvious issues they cannot control? For example, he referred to former New Jersey governor, a Republican presidential candidate, Chris Christie, as a fat pig.
Yeah, he did.
And see,
How below the line is that?
First of all, it's very childish.
It is childish.
But that was things like that were one of the reasons that turned me against him.
Oh yes,
Even
absolutely.
attacking Hillary Clinton, which we know I don't even like her at
I
all.
don't either. I don't like Chris Christie.
No, I do not like Christie either.
I want you to think of my president as having decorum, as
Yes.
having it being polished. And when he comes up to speak, he may say, my opponent, I don't agree with my opponent
Yeah.
or whatever. But for him to actually start calling names is so childish. And to me, it takes away from the office of the presidency. You know, I did not vote for Obama, but I will say this about Obama. When he was doing pressers, when he was doing White House business, speaking with foreign countries and visiting them, he did it with such grace, so to say. I mean, Donald Trump, he just wants to bash everybody openly.
Yep.
And I think that where you've seen such a division in the Republican Party, you've got your forever Trumpers who enjoy that type of banner that Donald Trump does. And they've become somewhat like that too,
They perpetrate it, a lot of them,
Yes.
especially here locally.
especially locally.
Well,
yes.
all over. We see it.
I see
happening
a lot.
We see it locally.
Nonsense. Yeah.
Chris Christie, a fat pig. He's an overweight guy. Yes, he is.
Yes.
He is
And
overweight,
he should
yeah.
lose some weight, and
Yeah,
if he
yeah.
can. I don't know what his issues are. I don't know whether
I
it's
thought
just.
he had lost some, but I might be wrong. I thought he did. I might be wrong. Don't
I
quote me
don't
on
know.
that.
I don't know. Some people. I mean, this attitude that he's got is rude, crude,
It is
socially
very.
unacceptable.
But it's unnecessary.
And it's beyond New York rude. We've heard excuses. Well, that's just the way it is in New York. That's the way New Yorkers are. Hey, well, no.
That's a term used to justify behavior.
Yes, it is.
That
And
doesn't
that's
make
all
it
it's doing.
acceptable.
This is not a style anywhere.
Mm-mm.
Not in New York, New Jersey, Florida, anywhere else. If
That's what
Donald
we've
Trump,
become.
if Donald Trump thinks it's okay to demean other people, it shows me only one thing. He has to belittle other people to make himself feel superior.
Yes.
I heard
How
it
many
this
times have
morning.
we seen that
Yes.
with kids and with everything?
Yes.
Bullies in school.
Oh, yes.
He's a bully.
Well,
Well,
he definitely is a
That's the
bully.
first thing this morning. He did a campaign visit last night, and part of his speech was, the judge is trying to silence him,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "No, I'm going to say what I want to say because I have my First Amendment rights." Here we go again with
Not-
the First Amendment rights.
In court,
I
They're
believe in the
limited.
First Amendment.
they
But
are still
But
limited.
that's not what that's for.
I believe that you draw a line when you
Mhm.
step over that First Amendment in order to butcher somebody,
Yep.
to talk about them, to lie, to make ugly comments. I think you're stepping over the line then.
I wonder if Trump has any idea, even though so many of us liked his ideas, his plan of action back in the day in 2016. We liked what we heard, except for the demeaning stuff. But he was more positive then about how he wanted to get stuff done.
Right.
He had ideas. I wonder if he realizes how many of us there are out here who now, because of him and his actions, absolutely despise him.
One, I don't think he cares.
Well,
Two, I don't think he really believes these people exist. I know.
just walk among us for about an hour.
True.
Jeez.
True.
Every day, with pretty much every breath he takes, he turns off more and more people. I hear them when I'm out in public. They talk about it. I'm just not finding a lot of people that are just like so gung ho on him.
Mhm.
They feel that even the Trump supporters that I still recognize as Trump supporters, I know they liked his ideas,
Yes.
but you cannot like his ideas and ignore all of the negativity.
Right.
All of his
Well,
other
his-
attributes.
It's not being a
Not
leader.
lack of attributes.
Well, that overshadows.
It
But
does.
what's so sad about a lot of this is his actions have overshadowed the good things he actually did do. Because he did some good things. He had a lot of really good ideas. He honestly did. But people became so focused on the negative that you forget the positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the negative is just so blaring and glaring in your face. You have no choice but to focus on that and not the other.
I still think one of his best attributes was his desire to stop the flow of illegals. It's not because it's stopping the flow of illegals only because they're illegal. It's because of the baggage that they bring.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of the drugs that are making their way into this country.
Yeah.
Those illegals that we know the cartel are putting up to coming into this country are tying up our border protection detail. They have got them so tied up. All the thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands that have swarmed the border, those guys don't have time to check for drugs.
Yeah.
They're doing what they can.
I agree with that.
So
Agreed.
what the only way you can stop the flow of drugs is to stop the flow of illegal trafficking coming into this country. Drugs, humans, just illegals, period, swarming the border, coming across. And then where do they go? Then they become our problem, your problem and my problem, because who's going to take care of them? We've already learned that, $106 million is being sent to New York to help with their housing program from the federal government. The federal government is me. It gets its money from me and you and y'all. That's the federal government does not make money. They steal it. They take it from other people.
And they print it and flood the economy
And
with
then
it.
they give it, and then they give it to people that cause us nothing but grief. We've got the welfare program is gone. I mean, it's out of control. The people who need, the Americans who need welfare, who need assistance, short term, generally speaking, but sometimes it's long term and forever. But generally, welfare was set up to be a short term bailout, helping people, helping fellow Americans get back on their feet, right? That's what it was supposed to do.
That's right.
Now it's a way of life.
Yes.
It's a way of living for so many people in this country.
I don't need to work. I'll just go on
That's
welfare.
it. What you got to do.
Stay on
And if
welfare.
I can just sneak across the border and come back as an illegal with no ID or anything else, I can get welfare. I can get all of the free medical service that I need. I can get a check. They want them to get Social Security. All of them.
Which is going to give them the right to vote too.
Well, in some
Yeah.
cities, they got the right to vote. They got the right to serve as a police officer.
Yes.
What is that about? How do you
Yes.
swear to uphold the Constitution when you've broken it to get here?
What was that in New York or Chicago where they were hiring
I
immigrants
I
to
don't know. I forgot.
police?
Illegals. Immigrants
Yeah.
are one thing. Illegals are a different story.
They were hiring them to.
You cannot. How would you trust somebody who's a law? You can't go out there and hire a guy who's committed violent crimes or drug crimes to be a police officer if they're not going to let you do it. You cannot swear them in. They can't pass the background check. Oh, whatever. We're wide open this morning.
Oh my gosh, you got us on a roll.
Dr. Rose will be on here at 7:30. Maybe she can provide some medical counseling, maybe some Valium or something like that.
We're gonna need some
today.
this morning.
She'll be here in about 10 minutes. And then at 8 o'clock this morning, we're going to have a chat with Senator Tom Tillis. He's still on the schedule. So hoping to hear from him. I'm reasonably sure, unless the creeks rise, that this is a go today. He's had conflicts for the last 3 times that he was scheduled. That happens with a busy guy. And every day I get notices of stuff that he's doing. So I know he's a busy man. Let's take a break, do some weather. You're live on to talk about the rain. You're live on Local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM. WSMA, don't go away. We'll be right back.
The past. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's an ad that'll really take you back.
Back in my day, I heard a voice from the radio say, Liberty Mutual customizes my home insurance so I only pay for what I need. I'm getting on in years now, but heavens to Betsy, there are some things an old fella like me just never forgets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
DQ presents. Picture this. You stand before the awe-inspiring new signature stack burger menu at DQ and your mouth wonders, where have you been all my life? That's 5 taste bud tempting cheeseburgers with 100% real seasoned beef. You peek at the loaded A1 stack burger with 2 premium sauces. Then the flamethrower stack burger with tongue-tingling jalapeno bacon. Then you realize moments like these are exactly why we have the DQ signature stack burger menu. DQ. Happy tastes good. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
Mills International Incorporated, your local Cub Cadet dealer, is ready for summer, and you should be too, with the Cub Cadet XT Enduro Series. These lawn tractors were engineered for strength, comfort, and versatility. Each machine features a strong deck with a variety of sizes available, designed to deliver a premium cut. An assortment of attachments and accessories, sold separately, allow you to use your mower for more than just cutting grass. Stop by Mills International Incorporated today and find out how the Cub Cadet XT Endurance Series is tailored to help unlock all the possibilities of your lawn. Head to your local Cub Cadet dealer, Mills International Incorporated, at 801 South Queen Street for exceptional offers, expert advice, and superior service.
A plan every adult family member should consider is the pre-arranged funeral. It's the worry-saving thing to do for your family. Making pre-arrangements helps to alleviate the additional stress on family members that can come with arranging a loved one's funeral. Jones Funeral Home's prepaid funeral plan helps remove confusion. They make a practical evaluation of costs possible, and it's the best way to take an unpleasant task off the shoulders of the family. Call Jones Funeral Home at 455-1281.
With locations in Jacksonville, Richland, Swansboro, and Holly Ridge.
The Burrow Restaurant and Bar in Swansboro is hiring. We're currently looking for experienced line cooks and expos. If you're hardworking, reliable, professional, and have a desire to always strive for better, we want to talk to you. The Burrow is open 7 days a week. Stop by for an application. Our sister restaurant, Il Cino Italiano, is also hiring line cooks, expos, and bartenders. Make great money and be a part of an outstanding, dedicated team. The Burrow Restaurant on Front Street and Il Cino Italiano on West Corbett Avenue, both in Swansboro.
Hello, shoppers. Take advantage of the following specials and many, many more at your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store, where good things cost less. Down home, down the street on the Richlands Highway here in Jacksonville and Main Street in Maysville. Boneless strip loin, just $6.99 a pound. Whole bone-in pork loin is only $1.49 a pound. Quarter sliced pork loin, $1.89 a pound. How about whole sirloin tip, just $3.79 a pound? And Springer Mountain Farms whole chicken, just $1.49 a pound. How about a 16-ounce package of Butterball ground turkey, just $3.59 a package? And remember, the beef and pork is cut fresh every day by the butchers at your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store, and they use only the finest and certified Angus beef and Sanderson's Farm chicken. Urban Produce Northwestern cherries, just $1.99 a pound. White or red seedless grapes is $2.99 a pound. How about a 1 pound package of California red ripe strawberries for just $2.59 a pound? Crisp green cabbage, 69 cents a pound. You get a 5 pound bag of Yukon Gold or red potatoes for just $4.99 a bag. North Carolina grown yellow or zucchini squash, it's just $1.99 a pound. And juicy yellow peaches are $1.99 a pound. And you get 3 6-packs of the 16-ounce size of Pepsi or Mountain Dew for just $11. That's your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store where good things cost less. Down home, down the street to Richlands Highway, Jacksonville, and Main Street, Maysville. Remember, say big with the pig.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
And we're back and we're on the air and everything is just fine. Tideline Marine, their doors will be open in an hour and 5 minutes. So hurry on down there, take a look-see at the new digs and all the new stuff that they got in. I was working yesterday and I got a chance to walk around the store there for a little while and check out some of the new stuff. I found some more stuff that I need or that I want. I don't have to need it. I just have to want it. And there's a lot of stuff in there I want. I like a lot of it to do a lot of good for me. I'm going to do some speckled trout fishing this year. I haven't done a whole lot in a long time.
Oh, God.
I've been mostly offshore fishing, but right now I got my little boat and she's up and running. And my little boat and we can go out there and we're going to leave some bright early in some mornings and see if I can't find out where the specks are and rekindle some of my old techniques for fishing for speckled trout. So anyway, I'll let y'all know how that works out and I'll let you know what lures I'm using. Meanwhile, you can go down to Tideline Marine and find a bunch of them. One guy came in yesterday, had never been fishing in salt water, had always been in fresh water. So he's moved to the area. He's now wanting to go out and try his hand at speckled trout. He keeps hearing about them. So I gave him, told him to pick 2 different types of lures, 2 lures of the same kind, but they're different colors.
Mhm.
And try that for just a little while. They're the pink and the green shad.
Oh.
They're lures, soft plastics. And he got a package of each. I said, you don't need to load up on a bunch of stuff to begin with. See if this works out for you. And if it does, you can rest assured that they'll bite it. If they're in the mood, they're going to bite it. You just have to be where they are. And I gave them another couple of techniques that I use to try to find out where they're holed up. Because you can sit there where they were yesterday. Well, they got fins. They don't have homes. They move around.
Right.
So now you got to find them today. And one of the little tricks that I use, and I learned down at Tideline years ago, was just do a little trolling
Yes.
first. And when they start hitting, anchor up and start
cut
casting for them.
switch.
That's
That's
the best thing in the world to do.
Did he come back?
I haven't seen him yet, but I'm sure he will be back. Tideline
Okay.
Marine, 159 Old Bridge Street on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. Northwesterly winds around 5 knots offshore today, becoming southwesterly 10 to 15 in the afternoon. 3 to 4 footers, dominant period 7 seconds. Sounds and rivers are flat, increasing to a moderate chop this afternoon. Tomorrow, southwesterly winds 15 to 20, increasing to 20 to 25, gust to 30 in the afternoon. Seas 3 to 4, building to 4 to noon. Dominant period tomorrow, 7 seconds. Sounds and rivers are choppy, increasing to rough in the afternoon. Westerly winds on Friday, 5 to 10, becoming southwesterly in the afternoon. Seas coming down 3 to 4. Sounds and rivers only a light chop.
Today, mostly sunny, high of 92. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 73. Tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms likely, mainly after 2 p.m.
Yay.
Otherwise, partly sunny, high of 93. And tomorrow's heat index value, though, is as high as 105.
Oh,
And gusts as high as 24 miles an hour. It's going to be a yucky day tomorrow.
yeah, it's going to be hot and sticky.
And it's going to rain tomorrow
Which
night as
fuels
well.
up those thunderstorms.
There you go. Good morning. Who's this?
It is a man who loves democracy, who wants to call up and congratulate the fine people.
We got Dr. Rose in about a minute, so go ahead.
Well, just really quickly, I just wanted to call up and just once again brag that I'm a part of a party, a political party that loves democracy, that loves the Republican Party. And we saw this again yesterday in Ohio, where they tried to change the rules once again, but the voters showed up in droves and stood up once again for one person, one vote. Long story short, Republicans knew they didn't have the votes, so they tried to change the way referendums were counted in Ohio, but voters rejected it. It was a beautiful thing last night.
I'll have to take a look at it because I paid no attention to that yesterday. I'll have to give a look-see. Or maybe Lee can explain it to me, or Kelly can explain it to me. All right, Doug. Thank you. Bye. All right, we are waiting for
I saw a little bit on that this
Dr. Rose.
morning. but I
What is
really
that about?
I didn't really delve into it, and so I couldn't even begin. But
What are we talking about? The special election
it was
in Ohio?
It was Ohio yesterday.
Yeah. It was an abortion rights win.
Well, I know that was part of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what he's talking about, let me see. It's about the ballot initiative. Let me see if I can bring this up here. Tell you a little bit about it.
How about while you're looking, that lucky guy down there in Florida?
I don't want to talk about him.
$1.58 billion.
I sure hope I find out he's a cousin.
That's what is that? 15. It's 1,000.
See, reasons like this is
It's a
why
bunch of
I just need to
millionaires.
buy lottery ticket, and I just never do. I need to start doing it.
I think what we need to do is each one of us go around town
Mm-hmm.
every week or twice a week
Mhm.
and buy one ticket and agree in writing
Mhm.
to split it evenly if we get anything over, anything like over $1,000.
We should do that.
And then we just do that.
But what we should do before that, Rayford, is do our research
Oh yeah,
and
well,
figure out what stores have historically in this county sold some type of winning ticket
there
and
have-
hit those first.
there have been some. Well,
Yeah,
a lot
there's
of
been a
a lot
few.
of the stores sell more tickets than others.
Well, I don't want the ticket sales. I want where the winners were.
I understand, but the chances of winning, the more tickets you sell at a store, the greater your
Yeah,
chance
but
of
you hear
having a winner. Yeah,
people repeated winning from the same store.
yeah, I know.
We need to go there.
Dr. Rosemary, good morning. How are you?
I am doing well. I hope you are.
Oh, we're hanging in here this morning. I got on a tirade early, so I probably need some medical assistance, like a Valium prescription or something.
Sure.
What did you get on the thyroid about?
Oh, politics, Donald Trump specifically. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Anyway,
What's new in the kid health world?
There's not a lot of illness, but we have encountered a couple of that word that we wanted to get rid of, or the term that we wanted to get rid of, the COVID-19 thing, that we do have a few in the community again.
well, I keep hearing about them here and there. I don't know of anything particularly in Onslow County. I haven't seen long lines standing outside the health department or anything. They're not badgering me to go get another booster shot. I guess I've had I forgot how many I've had, 3 or something like that. I got anyway, I know I had 2, maybe 3. I got 3, I believe, right off the bat. Because I was out of the country the last time and they were actually required it. So, anyway, unless you were going to be quarantined after you got there, well, that'd be no fun.
Nope.
And at this point, I don't think there's a lot to worry about because they seem to do quite well, quite rapidly. Within a day or two, they turn around. But they look like they feel miserable while they're sick. This is like the flu. I don't see it going beyond that at this point. It's not making at least the children go to the hospital or their parents. And so most of the parents of the children I take care of are young, in their 30s, maybe 40s. But I haven't heard of anything that's very severe when it comes to the COVID-19. Of course, it's not even close to being, the numbers that we were seeing in 2020, 2021. But after seeing it go away completely, now we are seeing some cases. And we have been testing. Most of our tests come back negative, but we are seeing maybe a handful in the last week, probably 6, among a couple hundred sick patients that we see.
Well, I like I say, I hear of some of them from time to time, and people come around and say, "Hey, I tested positive for COVID, and they've just told me to stay home for a bit, and now I'm clean, so everything's good." But I don't know. I hope it's not going to be a resurgence this fall, as they predicted in the past that we would have once the wintertime came along. I don't know if there's what the correlation is other than kids are in school together, perhaps closer contact. But that would be the only thing that I could think of. But, that's how measles gets moved around and how colds transmit and everything else, because they're in school together. What else are you going to do? Stay home?
Well, then that was my concern when I thought about it yesterday, that it's unfortunate that it is happening now, because kids are starting to go back to school, and they're certainly going to be back in school completely by the end of the month. So we are going to get an increase of it, whether it's the milder symptoms, like the flu-like symptoms that they're having, or, if it turns out to be something else, it's certainly going to spread more and not less. So just to be on the lookout, and if you have some immune compromised illness, or if you are, let's say you're concerned about, a family member, it's best not to be out and about that much right now. Once again, just because of that. So don't be in big crowds if you have a predisposing illness.
Yeah.
Or your child does.
Agree.
Yeah. What about all this heat? Are you seeing any issues with the kids coming in? I mean, we've had heat index of well over 100, 105. I think tomorrow again. We've had 107 over the weekend. Are you seeing any ill effects from that?
I have seen some kids with sunburns, and they didn't even think that they were outside that long.
Oh.
And we've had a little bit of dehydration can make everything worse. So if a kid's going to get a little sick and they've been outside, they are going to lose some more fluids just because the evaporation. So that's something to be concerned about. I'm seeing mild cases maybe of a little bit of dehydration and heat. I wouldn't say it gets the stroke, but heat related illness, but nothing severe. But I think kids by themselves, you have to remind them to take plenty of fluids. Perhaps it doesn't have to be cold, because when it's cold, it takes a little bit more time for it to get into the system. So if they're outside, a sort of a tepid or slightly cool drink would be better, so that it can get into your body faster. And make sure you have plenty of fluids, but remind them, because kids just don't drink. You can't tell kids, oh, you need to drink six glasses of water today because you're going to be outside. It's a thing of reminding them, take some more water. If the child lives in the moment, and they don't live thinking about what they need to do within that hour.
Yeah, well, we had a report earlier about a woman, 35 years old. She was extremely thirsty over the 4th of July period there, and they were out on the boat and out playing at the beach or whatever. I think it was Indiana. And she drank 4 16-ounce bottles of water back to back.
In 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And died.
And did she died?
Yeah. That's it. She had that water toxicity. Yeah.
It apparently takes away the salt that you need and potassium that you need in your system. It kind of washes it away. You're not replenishing that when you drink just good old water. So mix up that stuff with something like a Gatorade or orange juice or something.
That's exactly right. So you do need that saline and the chloride and all those electrolytes, so that if you are very thirsty, make sure that you pace yourself. And all that you need to do is pace yourself a little bit, because the blood will try to take care of that and release some of the extra electrolytes it has. But by putting it in there so quickly, there was no way to do that. It decreases. You can have yourself have a heart attack or a seizure because of the electrolyte imbalance by drinking too much. So there is that concern. And we need to make sure, even for our kids, remember, kids really don't think ahead. They're not thinking, oh, I don't have any sodium or potassium. So that if your kids are drinking excessively, you make sure you slow them, pace them down, and that you have some Gatorade or Pedialyte available to them.
Sure. I wonder if, just thinking back to before the days of bottled water and before Gatorade and all that sort of stuff, these ladies can't remember it, but I do. I just wondering if they have drinking from a water hose outside. I wonder, especially if it's well water, if that has electrolytes and stuff in it that you actually need.
No.
Not from a well. It won't have any. It used to be that the military would carry the salt pills.
Yeah. I know a lot of
tablets.
construction people did the same thing. I know a lot who did that.
Yeah, and generally you don't need to do that today because of Gatorade being so accessible. Right. And Gatorade has more than just salt. And I don't know if those salt pills had potassium and chloride and calcium and all that. But certainly those electrolyte drinks, Powerade, Gatorade, they do. So if you're going to be outside, like Dave and I went to the golf tournament in Greensboro, and I felt a little woozy, and I was drinking water. I got a Gatorade, and I felt much better.
Yeah.
And so that meant my electrolytes were not quite balanced.
Yeah, I've done that down in the islands before, where we were out on a sailboat for quite a while, and I was drinking water, no problem, but I got really still thirsty. I said, I went and found some Gatorade, and that took care of me in a hurry. That was good.
And that's a great point. That sometimes when you're thirsty, it's not necessarily that you just need water. It is also that you might need one of those essential electrolytes, and the body is asking for it. And how do you distinguish it? That you need salt or you need potassium versus you needing water. And so if you drink some water and you're still not feeling much better, if you have access to Gatorade or Powerade or one of those, then drink that, or slow yourself down to drink.
Yeah,
just slowing yourself down is probably going to do some of the trick also.
Or you can go jump in the Atlantic Ocean and just suck in a little bit of that water. It's got plenty of salt in it.
That's true.
Well, for you guys that are close to the of water, that might work a little bit.
You
But don't
come
get too
see
much
us
in there. That is
anytime.
definitely high in salt.
There you go. All right, Dr. Rose, thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a great
All right,
week.
you too. We'll see you next week. Let's take a break. You're live on Local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back.
If you love ocean pier fishing, the Seaview Pier Motel and Restaurant located at mile marker 18, North Topsail Beach is the place for you. The Seaview Pier is a family pier complete with bait and tackle shop, rod and reel rentals, and accessories. The restaurant serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner and features a complete menu from burgers to ocean fresh seafood, straight to you from the briny blue. With the Seaview Motel right next door and the most affordable rates on the coast, you can make it a vacation or a weekend of Carolina pier fishing. It's all here, including the fish. The Seaview Pier Motel and Restaurant, mile marker 18, North Topsail Beach, across the bridge, just south from Seas Ferry. To find out what's biting or for motel reservations, call anytime, 910-328-3172.
Down East, heating and air conditioning, a family tradition of quality since 1986.
Down East is your local Bryant Factory authorized dealer. Down East, Bryant, whatever it takes to keep you cool.
Down East, heating and air conditioning, a family tradition of quality since 1986. DownEastHeating.com.
Need service on your present cooling system? Just call Down East. Looking to replace your cooling system in your home or office? Down East and Bryant is ready to do whatever it takes to keep you cool on these hot summer days. Ask about 0% interest for 60 months. Down East, Bryant, whatever it takes.
Down East, heating and air conditioning, family tradition of quality since 1986. DownEastHeating.com.
Modern Exterminating 627 College Street, Jacksonville has proudly been serving the pest control needs of Onslow and surrounding counties since 1952. That's 70 years of protecting the health and property of our citizens from rodents, termites, mosquitoes, and all other pests. Modern Exterminating offers inspection without obligation. Being authorized to serve government quarters, Modern Exterminating takes this opportunity to thank those who serve and allowing us to handle all your pest control needs. If what they use don't zap them, they'll trap them. And if you're not satisfied, they'll step on them. The bug stops here. Modern Exterminating, family owned and operated since 1952. Call today, 910-455-5122. That's 910-455-5122 for Modern Exterminating.
Attention property owners, are you fed up with bad tenants, under market rents, and late payments? At Fountain Management, we provide unrivaled levels of expertise and all the tools and services you need to make owning a rental property easy and profitable. Are you ready to talk about taking the management of your real estate investment to the next level? Well, contact us today. Fountain Management, 910-455-1609. We will make owning your rental property simple and rewarding.
Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing specializes in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting. In fact, they paint most anything except cars, including homes, businesses, apartment complexes, decks, and they do minor repairs, wood repairs, pressure washing, waterproofing, and more, including storm repair and cleanup. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing, fully licensed, insured, and locally owned and operated by Roger Carroll Jr. References available and customer satisfaction is always guaranteed. So if you want to paint it, maintained, power washed, or need a new roof, call Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, and Power Washing at 910-939-0749 or visit southerntouchpaintingnc.com. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing salutes our troops and is proud to be part of the continued growth of Onslow and surrounding counties.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
And we are back. And what Doug was talking about just before Dr. Rose called in Ohio, there was on the ballot yesterday was a move that conservatives had been pushing for to make it more difficult, not really, yes, that's the way people are putting it, to require a lot of people to vote to change the Constitution, the Ohio Constitution.
Ohio, right.
Okay. So the conservatives are actually concerned, as they are across the country, that there are so many liberals who would like to change all constitutions, Ohio being one of them, and the U.S. Constitution to make this illegal or make that illegal or to make this legal or that legal, something, kind of wild and crazy stuff, right? So, but the voters, by a fairly large percentage yesterday, voted that down. So now instead of 60% of the people to vote to change something, as the conservatives have proposed, it will remain 50%.
Yes.
So you still need half of the people, half of the voters to approve changing Ohio's constitution. Where's that going to go? We don't know. I doubt that it will end there. But we'll have to wait and see. What else we got cooking here?
Well, it was interesting though that it brought out more Cincinnati voters than the mayor race did.
Mhm. Yep, absolutely. The Supreme Court yesterday reinstated a regulation that Biden had brought up about there's Biden's ATF, right, had come out to rein in what they call ghost guns. These are guns that you can buy a kit. There are no serial numbers on them. I don't know what are they even classified as firearms? If there's no serial number, whatever. I don't know. See, that's the confusing part about those so-called ghost guns. I know a guy that bought one. He hasn't got it together yet, and he's had it for about 3 or 4 years. So it requires a lot of work if you're going to do one, a high-end one, to make it look good, to make it shoot good. And I can understand people doing that. I don't like the idea of them not having serial numbers, but this proposal, this rule that Biden had is that, you're going to have serial numbers on them. They're going to have to be registered with ATF. Even if you buy it as a kit, you're going to have to abide by the same rules that you would if you go out and buy a fully functional firearm. Okay. I'm torn. I'm not opposed to that. Guns, like cars and like boats and like motors and other things, serial numbers make it easier to track it. Let's just take mine. One of mine was stolen. I had the serial number.
Mm-hmm.
It was run very quickly, listed very quickly, immediately, and it was recovered fairly quickly because I had the serial number. I would, one gun looks alike as far as if it's the same model and everything else as another gun, unless you got some hidden markings on it somewhere.
I need to rewrite mine down.
Why would you? But I think people should not only write the serial number down, have a picture in like a book of your gun.
You can do that.
I would do both. I tend to do more than above and beyond anyway.
Keep the model number and a description at the very least, the caliber, of course, and the serial number. And even if you don't want to take a picture of each and every one of them today, it's fairly easy to do.
Yeah.
And that's those. By the way, that list of serial numbers and photographs. Don't make just one copy.
Right.
Put one in a place off premises, and don't put it in your gun safe, because guess where people are going to go when they go to break into something?
Correct.
You
Or it's
may
just
as well
like-
attach it to your guns.
My 9mm looks like every other P365.
Yeah.
So, but my 357 is unique. But still, I need to write those numbers down. I had them written down a long time ago. I don't even know where it's at. See, so I need to redo that.
I understand, and people probably do that because I've probably got some that I know I've got the serial number somewhere, but the most recent purchases, of course, I know where I got mine, so all I got to do is make a phone call.
Yeah, same as me.
And it's always on record there with Dorothy, and so I can do that in a hurry. And but anyway, copy your stuff down. Now the ghost guns themselves, apparently, they have seized. Or found something almost 20,000 ghost guns at crime scenes in 2021. 20,000. I had no idea there were that many people making guns, building their own guns. Now, I don't have a problem with people building their own gun. I think it's marvelous. It's kind of like loading my own ammunition. When I was doing that and doing a lot of shooting, not only did it save me money, but I could design a round based upon my particular gun, because no two guns shoot exactly alike. And when I was doing precision target shooting, that's what I would do. I would tailor a round, the bullet weight, the amount of powder, the type of powder, the amount that I seated the bullet in the case. All sorts of things go into ballistics to make sure that you get the absolute best. And I trial and error, and that's what I ended up with. That's fine. I do have a problem with this. If Mr. Biden can suddenly, or ATF, decide we're going to require serial numbers on every part of a gun, the magazine, the barrel. I mean, there are times with a semi-automatic, for instance, the barrel may get worn out. You shoot a lot of targets, and the barrels do wear out.
Yes, I was just going to say, when you have to replace one.
And people can put a new barrel on. Now you're going to have to get a new serial number, and then you're going to have to do that. No, see, it's a ridiculous thing. If it's something like the frame or the receiver on a gun that can make it a gun, actual viable shooting piece, then fine. Put a serial number on that.
I agree.
Done.
What does this mean? We're going to have to start putting VIN numbers all over every parts on our automobiles?
Yeah, probably. You know, that gets to be a ridiculous thing.
Yes.
You're going to run out of serial numbers sooner or later. You're live in local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSMA. Don't forget Senator Tillis at 8 o'clock.
C&S Paint, Jacksonville's premier paint store since 1957, with 3 locations serving the Crystal Coast, has everything you need from brushes to Olympic stain and quality Benjamin Moore paint. Benjamin Moore offers unmatched color and durability, so the color will last for years to come. Whether a do-it-yourselfer or paint contractor, when you shop C&S Paint Center with 3 locations, you're not just improving your home or construction site, you're supporting a local business too. C&S Paint Center, Olympic Stain, and Benjamin Moore. Paint for everything that matters. C&S Paint Center, 105 Wayne Drive, Morehead City, 6 Doris Avenue, Jacksonville, and 504 Cedar Point Boulevard, Cedar Point. C&S Paint, phone 910-455-0210. Jacksonville's premier paint store since 1957.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
Coastal Bank and Trust thanks you for allowing us the privilege of handling all your banking needs, including personal and commercial loans to mortgage services. With locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Morehead City, Coastal Bank and Trust truly is the community bank dedicated to those we serve and is proud to be a part of the continued growth of Onslow, Carteret, and surrounding counties, and looks forward to meeting you. Thank you for voting us the best of the best 5 years in a row. FDIC insured and an equal housing lender.
Have your Jones Onslow monthly electric bills been arriving a little later than usual? We have noticed that the mail is taking a bit longer than expected, so we want to share other options to review and pay your monthly bill. One way is through paperless billing and notifications. When you sign up for paperless billing, you will receive an email each month when your statement is available to view online at our website. Sign up for paperless billing under the account management section of My Account at joemc.com. Another way is through our mobile app. You can download the JOEMC mobile app for fast, easy, secure access to your account anytime. You can view your balance, pay your bill, report an outage, track your usage, and schedule alerts and reminders. These are just a few ways you can stay on top of your bill. Go to My Account on joemc.com to view all the ways we're helping you stay in control of your monthly electric bill. Member focused, service driven. That's our co-op.
Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, your trusted local carrier indoor weather team, serving all of your heating and air conditioning needs since 1967. Now offers residential and commercial duct and dryer vent cleaning, and now offers expert residential and commercial plumbing service. In case of a power outage due to a storm or for any other reason, be prepared with a Generac generator for your home or business. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning has Generac generators in stock, ready to install today. Remember, better breathing comes with cleaner air. Let Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning improve the air quality in your home or business with professional air duct cleaning. As always, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning is available 24/7 for all your heating, cooling, and plumbing emergency needs. Turn to the carrier experts, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, with locations in Jacksonville and Hampstead. Visit online, humphreyheating.com. And follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning since 1967. Relax. We're on the way.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
It's live and local real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
And we're back about 3 minutes away from 8 o'clock and Fox News break. And right after that, we're going to have Senator Tillis. We'll be chatting with him about all sorts of cool things. And one of the things I want to talk to him about is going to be, we hear fights between Republicans and Democrats. This Republican and that Democrat, they're going at it there just because they're Republicans and Democrats, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Tillis introduces probably more bipartisan legislation. He gets other people from the other side of the aisle to sign on with him. First of all, if you can do that, you have a much better chance of it passing. Hello.
Agree.
You'll have fewer Democrats up there saying, no, we don't want that. That's just coming from a Republican. Well, no, it's coming from a Republican and also others, some Democrats that signed on.
Yes.
So that
aren't we supposed to work together?
We're supposed to work together. That's what it's about. You can run against each other. You can have your own policies or what you want to do and the programs that you want to see adopted, yada, yada, yada. You can do all of that during the campaign. After that campaign,
you represent everyone.
You represent everybody, including me. Period.
Yeah.
Whether I voted for you or not, you still represent me. So get off the pot and let's do something for me
We
and
could
for
just
you and you.
learn
and you,
to
and
work
you.
together. Bring this country back together.
Yeah, and world peace. We got to get some world peace.
World
and
peace.
Just call me Miss America.
Yeah, here we are. World peace.
Yeah, you got to wave it like this.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Let's take a break and we'll get Fox News going, and then we'll be right back. You're live and local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. Voters in Ohio rejected a bid to make it harder to amend the state constitution. It's a big win for abortion rights supporters who are bringing their own case to voters this November. A federal judge sets a hearing for Friday to decide on a proposed protection order against former President Donald Trump. Trump blasting the special prosecutor in his case at a rally in New Hampshire yesterday.
They sued, and I have a guy, they call him Deranged Jack Smith. He's deranged.
One lucky lottery player is taking home $1.58 billion Mega Millions jackpot.
Tonight's winning numbers are 32, 19, 13, 33, 20, and the gold Mega Model is 14.
Did you catch that? That was John Crow on the Mega Millions
Senator,
official
be right
YouTube
with you.
channel.
Stay tuned right after Fox
in
News.
Florida after 31 drawings. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1
WSME.
It's live and local. Real talk.
Okay, we're back. Joining us on the phone right now, as I told you, Senator Thom Tillis. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Rayford. I hope you're well.
Oh, hanging in here. Another day, another dollar, and still vertical, and that's the way it works. So, got Lee and Kelly in here
Good
as
morning,
well this
Senator.
Good morning.
And Kelly's walking back into the room now. She had to go put up a couple of my pets. They kind of got under stepped on him and kicked it. She had to kick him around the room a
Yeah,
little bit.
that did not happen.
Well, you
Did
get,
not happen.
if you get an 85-pound dog, he tends to step on you rather than you on them.
This
Well,
I've got one of those running around the house.
This
Yeah,
is
you
a
have a
2-pound
big
dog.
one.
These are 8-pound dogs.
Yeah, they're tiny.
I can overwhelm them.
Mhm.
And speaking of dogs,
Oh my gosh.
what?
What are you about to say?
Bipartisan legislation. This is the headline I was telling you about. Bipartisan
Yes.
legislation. I see more stuff coming from Senator Tillis that it indicate he actually works across the aisle with people. That's kind of amazing.
Well, we all knew he did that.
Yeah, to encourage pet food donations to animal shelters.
Well, I'm all about that.
I figured you would be.
Mhm.
So, what's it all about there, Senator?
You know what, though, as crazy as this world is now, there's probably a coalition massed against even that kind of policy. That's sort of where we are in politics today. But, you know, I mean, I think you all know I've been training dogs for about 35 years, and I feel like bad dogs are not really bad. They tend to be a reflection of their owners. But you got to take care of them, just in the same way that we spend so much time on making sure that we can get service animals, mainly dogs, but not always, to our wounded warriors. That's why we work so hard on the PAWS Act, and we've got another bill we're moving through. Just the scientific data on animals, really in many cases helping humans get well, says we ought to do well by them.
Mm-hmm. You know, we've heard here and heard yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yes, we had grassroots on yesterday, wasn't it? And
Yes, it
talking
was.
about probably some overreach. North Carolina's Attorney General has decided that he's going to make it tougher for concealed carry instructors to actually do a business. Going to overwhelm them with extra paperwork, more paperwork than you can even shake a stick at. It's going to run some of them out of business. They don't want the grief, and therefore he's working in one way to curb the Second Amendment in the opinions of a lot of us, kind of like Biden has done. Isn't there a point in time? I know you've got the executive powers to create executive directives and all that sort of good stuff, but isn't there a time when our legislators, that be you and the folks over there in the House, aren't you all supposed to make the laws and change the laws?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, the biggest problem you have, though, Rayford, is for about the last 75 years, when your team's in the White House and the same team controls the Congress, they think it's a great idea to just shift power over to the administrative branch because they can't get it done in Congress, or they can't get a lot of things done in Congress. We have been conveying power to the Article 2 branch for over 70 years. Actually, one of the instances where I got in the dust up with President Trump had nothing to do with his policy. It had to do with the exercise of executive power that I felt strongly when you're talking about appropriating. I mean, we've got administrations now, including Republican administrations, that are going into the gray area on what their authority is. I believe Congress has the power of the purse. I believe Congress has conveyed a lot of power to the presidential branch that they've got to call back. And you know when you have to do that? When it's unpopular. When you got majorities in Congress and you got a president who's willing to get power realigned to where the founding fathers envisioned it. But, you know, everybody, the people, I'm sure listening on this call, are frustrated with Biden and the administration's overreach of power. We've got to be prepared to live by a principle that says Congress needs to call back that power, and we're going to have to make some unpopular proposals when we have an opportunity to do that. If we have a president who actually understands and respects the long-term value of separation and clawing that power back.
And speaking of the election, I'm trying to figure out how I can vote for somebody. I'm having a problem.
Well, you know, I did a town hall meeting in Charlotte yesterday. We're on recess, and I'm traveling all over the state. I actually headed out to Harnett County here in about an hour. I'll be in the eastern part of the state, and that question comes up a lot. And what I tell everybody is politics, you live politics in dog years. We have to, people are thinking about the choices they have today. There's the first Republican debate is about to come up. The candidates are, I've used the analogy, I don't know if you guys have watched Drive to Survive, the Formula One series on Netflix, but I've learned a lot about Formula One racing over the past year. And one thing I've learned is just because somebody's in the number one pole position, it doesn't guarantee that they're going to win the race. And we've just got to step back. And I've told I had someone ask me yesterday, what am I going to do to clear up the choices for the election? And I said, it's not what I'm going to do, what I do. I'm going to study the candidates and find the ones that I think are best for the future of this country. My question to this person was, tell me, which candidate have you contributed to and encouraged others to make them qualify for the debate? When's the last time you've contributed to a campaign for somebody that you're behind and called your friends and neighbors and do the same thing? Elections are won by votes, and votes are cast by every single eligible voter in the United States. This is the time for the voters to stop looking at a handful of people to tell them what the direction or who they should vote for, and they should stand up and support the candidates that we can all choose as the primary progressives. So it's an important time not to task elected officials with clearing up the options, but it's a time for the electorate to get engaged and make those options what the American people really want.
Well, it sounds like it would be a wonderful thing to do. The problem is we've got so many different voters out there, and we can't even get I hear after every election, I didn't vote. I didn't vote because I didn't have anybody to vote for. I'll
tell you. Back when I was first running for election, I had I'm voting for Tom Tillis ask me why sticker on me. I went to Starbucks. Young lady across the counter didn't know me. Most people still don't know me. I'm realistic about that, and I'm good with that. But she said, I just don't vote. I said, I love people like you. And she looked at me oddly. I said, because every one of you who doesn't vote strengthens my vote. And I've voted in every election since I was 18 years old. And every one of you who say, I'm just not going to vote, are empowering me to have my choice more likely to be selected. I think we've got to talk to the voters like adults. And if you go home and you don't exercise your right to vote, then in my opinion, you don't have a right to criticize whoever got elected. You weren't in the fight.
Absolutely.
You were on the sidelines. And I would tell these people to not only vote, but vote early. Cast your vote on the first day of early voting and spend the rest of your time encouraging everybody else to do the same. This is not a time to retreat into a foxhole. This is the time to fight for the future of this country. And so, again, I unapologetically tell people, you want to empower my vote? That's fine. But I'd really prefer to have more people engaged. And that's what we need. When you have turnout in primaries of a quarter of the eligible population, that's a sad statement on engagement in this country.
I've maintained for years and years and years that I was not going to vote early, ever. And I've pretty well done that, except for a couple occasions when I was not going to be available, and I did go vote early. But last election cycle, changed my mind. I will be voting early from now on because I was planning to go vote, but the day that I was going to be voting, I was in a hospital having a quadruple bypass surgery.
I've used that example. I know it kind of freaks people out, but
Yes,
I'm kind of a traditionalist. I need to go on election day. I said, "How's your health?"
Yeah.
I said, "Are you absolutely certain you're going to be in great health on election day, or some other thing is not going to get in your way, a family emergency? Vote on the day that you can, as early as possible." I'll tell you something else that I've tried to convey to everybody. Rayford, when you request that absentee ballot, that is public information. So campaigns know that you've requested a ballot. You're probably going to get a call and say, hope you'll vote for Tom Tillis in my case. But they know when you've requested the ballot, and they know when you've submitted the ballot. So if you're supporting somebody, don't you want to let them know that they no longer need to call Rayford, because Rayford's cast a vote, so they can focus on the people they know that they haven't voted yet? You've got to use the tools that are available. And then we have, on the Republican side, people say, well, I'm not voting because they do ballot harvesting in Nevada or Colorado. I'm saying if that's the law in Nevada and Colorado, figure out how to harvest ballots in the states where it's legal. Don't disengage because you don't like the rules. Understand the rules and win the game.
I could not have said it better myself, and you did it much more eloquently than I could have. But yes, we have got to vote. We got to get more people voting. Here in Onslow County, we have such a small percentage of the county that actually turns out. And I try to tell, because these guys aboard Camp Lejeune, we got 50,000 Marines and sailors out here.
They don't vote.
And they don't vote. They
Not
voted.
here.
They vote back home.
The other thing that the folks in North Carolina and across the country need to know is we know whether or not you vote. We don't know how you voted, but we know whether or not you vote.
Yep.
And back in the day when I'd have people come to me saying, you're never voting again, and they make the mistake of giving me their full name, I go on the voter database. And I said, you know what? If nothing else other than the fact that you haven't voted for 10 years inspires you to vote, even if you're voting against me, I consider that a win.
Yes.
And virtually all the time they go, okay, you got me. I really don't like having discussions about election outcomes with anybody who didn't vote. I really don't.
Neither do I.
In fact, if I know they didn't vote, I won't have that discussion. I say, once you pay the price of admission, then we'll talk about the outcome of the election. And again, I generally talk bluntly anyway, but I'm talking very bluntly now because the electorate is frustrated for very good reasons, but this is not the time to turn off. This is the time to turn up your involvement in politics, in elections.
Illinois just turned down a conservative desire to require a larger percentage to change the Constitution, the state Constitution. It's now 50%. And voters agreed to keep it at 50%, shooting down the conservatives' desire to make it 60% before they could just willy-nilly change the state constitution. Is this a move across the country to make it more difficult to change constitutions, or do they want to make it easier to change a constitution?
I believe it was Ohio.
Ohio, that's right. It was not Illinois, it was Ohio.
And that vote is actually tied to a vote in November. So you got to think about the backdrop. The Ohio legislature had passed a bill that was a ban on abortions, I believe, after 6 weeks without any exceptions. And so the voters went to the polls yesterday because they have a referendum coming up on a constitutional amendment to basically guarantee access to abortion in Ohio. And the legislature wanted to increase the threshold, I believe, to a point to where it'd be more difficult to pass. But when you see the referendum this week with I believe it was 53-47 roughly, I don't know what the certified number is, but a 6-point spread, I think that the legislators need to know that to a certain extent it was a proxy vote on the 6-week ban.
Mm-hmm.
And Republicans need to understand that. North Carolina has done a good job, and we started it when I was Speaker of the House on promoting life, and I should go back and say also promoting concealed carry protections.
Yes.
But North Carolina has done it in a way that I believe the majority of North Carolina and the majority of the nation support. We believe that there should be limits on late-term abortions. We believe that there should be reasonable exceptions, even in the later terms. Rape and incest, they're very difficult, very complex issues. 6 weeks is certainly not enough time, and in that case, it was a ban, even if they would have qualified for those exemptions after 6 weeks. So I think that it should be a signal to our pro-life friends that the majority of the American people believe that late-term abortions should be very rare, and they should only even be considered health of the mother, or rape or incest are involved. North Carolina got it right, and Ohio now is set up for, I believe, a referendum on that policy. Because what they're really talking about is the threshold for a statewide referendum on a constitutional amendment. So you put it on there, you win by a simple majority. So I hope other states that I think are moving into an area that on the policy, I think they really need to think through. Just think through a 6-week ban without any exceptions. And think about the complexity that gets behind a mother getting sick in the second trimester, or a young girl who's been raped. And 6 weeks later, you've already got to make a decision.
Right.
I mean, you may not have even told your parents about that situation, or incest. So I think the legislators need to be smart. They need to understand that I am pro-life. We passed several pro-life bills when I was Speaker, but we did it in a way that was focused on late term, but being reasonable about exceptions, that the mother and the doctor and the family could have to sort through the tragic decision that they may have to make. But we're going to be watching Ohio, and I think November will be very interesting, and I think it also will create, we'll get a lot of information from that referendum vote going into the election next year as we try to win back the majority. And part of that strategy goes right through the state of Ohio by trying to defeat Sherrod Brown.
Are you going to be campaigning in North Carolina for a governor, a Republican nominee next year?
Well, there's going to be one.
I know there is.
I'm predicting that with 100% certainty. Look, I'm looking, and people have asked me about the governor's race. I want somebody who represents the priorities of the majority of the people of North Carolina, somebody that focuses on business, somebody that can look at the administration and realize all the waste that a good, experienced business person with political experience could do to transform the state in the same way that we transformed the state of North Carolina in the legislature. Imagine what we would have with a very qualified, business first, conservative values first governor leading this state. So I'm just like the presidential primary. I'm looking for the filings that are going to occur, and for the person who puts forth the best case to convince me that they're prepared to run and manage one of the most consequential, complex, and fastest growing states in the nation. We need strong leadership. We need experienced leadership. We need serious business-focused leadership to match up with the great leadership that we're seeing from the legislature. And if it becomes clear to me between now and next March, then I will endorse somebody. If it's not clear to me, and at this point it is not, then I'm just going to watch and see what the voters of North Carolina want in March, and then we'll see how that stacks up in November.
Okay, sounds good. Senator, thank you. If you're ever back in the Jacksonville area, be sure let me know. We'll get you on the air here.
Yes.
Yeah, and y'all try not to step on the dogs for the remainder of the segment, okay?
Yeah, we'll do our best.
That was just barely a little bump in the road for Gary. Dude, take care. Let's take a break. You're live and local, Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSMA. We'll be right back.
Summertime, no schedules, no stress, and no cooking. The Burrow Low Country Kitchen has got you covered. Order a Carolina-style seafood boil to go. Sausage, potatoes, corn, with your choice of shrimp, crawfish, lobster, clams, mussels, crab legs, or a mixture. Seafood boils also make great party pleasers. Grab a quick lunch of Philly cheesesteaks, Italian sausage, fish tacos, and more. Dine in or take out. Curbside or dockside pickup. The Burrow Low Country Kitchen. Corner of Front and Moore Streets in downtown Swansboro. BurrowLowCountryKitchen.com.
Mohawk All Pet Protection and Warranty is the only carpet protection and warranty for all pets, all accidents, all the time. Because your pets are family members too. No matter how you live, we've got you covered. Soft, luxurious, smart strand, forever clean carpet. Gorgeous, durable, solid tech, luxury vinyl tile. Mohawk has the ultimate floor for every room in your home. It's suitable for all pets. For details, contact Watkins Floor Covering online at watkinsnewfloor.com. Watkins Floor Covering, thanking you for voting them the the best of the best for 2022 in the flooring, covering, and carpet cleaning category. Watkins Floor Covering. They're more than just floors. It's custom showers, custom tubs, carpet cleaning, backsplashes, bathrooms, commercial, retail, and home flooring too. Watkins Floor Covering. Family owned and operated since 1997 with locations in Jacksonville and Surf City. Watkins Floor Covering. You stand on it, we stand behind it.
For 40 years now, people throughout Jacksonville and Onslow County have trusted Barnes Diamond Gallery for all their jewelry needs for every special occasion. They understand that every day is a special event for someone, whether celebrating a wedding, anniversary, birthday, engagement, or graduation. Let Barnes Diamond Gallery custom design something for you. Barnes Diamond Gallery does on-site repair in addition to their quality and selection of diamonds, diamond fashion bands, pendants, watches, earrings, gemstone rings, and necklaces for anyone for any occasion. Major credit cards accepted. Layaway available. Barnes Diamond Gallery offers appraisals and pay top market prices for gold and silver. Barnes Diamond Gallery, 461 Western Boulevard, Suite 120, Jacksonville, open 9:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday. The best deal for the grill is at Jones LP Gas and Oil Company each Friday. Every Friday from 8 a.m. till closing at 5, Jones LP Gas and Oil Company will fill your 20-pound LP gas grill cylinder for only $11. You heard that right. Each Friday till closing, you can have your 20-pound LP gas cylinder filled for only $11 at Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 Wilmington Highway in heart of Verona. In addition to saving money on your LP gas for the grill, Jones Gas and Oil is your full-service gas and oil company serving residential, commercial, and agricultural gas and oil needs, as well as gas appliances, LP replacement, parts, filled cylinders, and tankless water heaters, and they offer a 10% military discount on installation. Remember to get that cylinder filled every Friday until closing for only $11. Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 the Old Wilmington Highway, Verona. Phone 910-346-6384.
I had a question about my insurance the other day, so I called my new State Farm agent. And would you believe I talked to the same person who remembered my name? They said that was called service. And then they asked if my dog Max was over his cold. They called that service too. And then they helped me find ways to save on my home and auto coverage. I asked State Farm what they called that. They said service.
Call David Hall, State Farm, 910-455-0440, 1218 Country Club Road, Jacksonville.
It's live and local real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Tideline Marine getting ready to open the doors right about 5-6 minutes from now. Boats are being moved outside. They're being put on display out beside the road there on Old Bridge Street. By the way, Old Bridge Street has been repaved. It looks good. It dries good. It's smooth. Nice. I can get up to about 100 miles an hour now.
No, I don't think
well, no, I could, but I'm not going to. Old Bridge is looking good, and thanks to the city for taking care of that, and some of the. I hope they will continue through the downtown area, but part leading from 17 all the way across the Old Bridge is a done deal, including the bridge.
Great.
Yeah, don't have to fall down anymore when I'm walking on it. Tideline Marine's located there on Old Bridge Street, 159 Old Bridge to be exact, on the banks of the New River. They got boats for sale. They got used boats for sale. They've got people in there to repair boats. Took them in yesterday, took a couple more in yesterday. And yes, a lot of folks aren't totally sure how to take care of their boats and do simple things on them. Don't go find a YouTube video or something. Don't just get out there and start willy-nilly doing it. Look for the warnings. And for goodness sakes, if you change the battery in your boat and your motor, let me explain something to you. The old motors of yesteryear, you could swap the battery poles around. The motor just wouldn't start. You try it today, and you've got a computer inside every new outboard motor. And computers do not like reverse polarity. They will go click, quit, order a new one. Now, those don't start at $29.95. They will start in the $500 range and go upwards. So be careful what you do and stuff like that. Red is positive. Black ain't. How's that? That's simple enough?
That works.
Okay. Red is positive. Put the positive on, put the negative on, the ground on, and on the black wire, and you'll be good to go. All right. So that's Tideline Marine. If you have some problems, they'll help you get it back on the water as quickly as possible. But you have to understand a lot of those problems you may be having now is because you have your boat just took it out of storage after a year or more. And I know some people do that, and there's going to be a line of folks in there in front of you. But Tideline's getting the boats turned out a whole lot faster than they were a year ago. I can tell you that. So that's the good thing. Tideline Marine, again, 159 Old Bridge Street on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. Offshore today, winds out of the northwest around 5 knots. Southwesterly this afternoon, 10 to 15. Seas 3 to 4 feet. Dominant period 7 seconds. Sounds and rivers are flat, increasing to a moderate chop in the afternoon. Southwesterly winds on Thursday, 15 to 20, increasing to 20 to 25. Gust to 30 in the afternoon. Seas 3 to 4 feet. Building to 4 to 6 in the afternoon. Dominant period 7 seconds. Sounds and rivers choppy, increasing to rough in the afternoon. Westerly winds on Friday, 5 to 10 knots, becoming southwesterly in the afternoon. Seas 3 to 4 feet. Sounds and rivers a light chop.
Today, mostly sunny, high of 92. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 73. Tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms likely, mainly in the afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny, high of 93. But it's going to be very hot with the heat index value as high as 105. Tomorrow night, more rain chances again. And in between that, mostly cloudy, a low of 74. And on Friday, partly sunny, a high of 92.
You know, I talk about the marine forecast every day, and sometimes I forget that some people are new to boating or new to boating in the ocean, like the gentleman who came in yesterday.
Yeah.
They might not understand what this marine forecast means. I'm going to give it to you very briefly. Winds and waves are what you're looking for to find out how much problem you're going to have. All waves are not, you can have quiet winds right here on shore, like 5-knot winds today, but you may have some kind of a system 100 miles offshore. It generates waves, and the waves start moving ashore. If you got a hurricane or anything like that out there, the waves will come in way before the wind ever starts. You'll start getting some wave action. And that's one of the keys. Now, for a normal forecast, for normal days, something like a northwesterly wind, that sounds pretty good, right? Only 5 knots. Seas 3 to 4 feet. Well, not too awfully bad, but if they happen to be very close together, that's really bad.
It's rocking.
You will be bouncing. You will be up at. But if you've got a 7-second or 8 or a 10-second period between the waves, you can ride up and over and down and across. But if you've got 2 seconds or 3 seconds, and the waves are only 2 feet, they call it, but it's just a really rough, obnoxious chop. You cannot make any headway. A lot of people in the sounds, like the Albemarle and the Pamlico sounds, they will get 2-foot waves in the sounds. That's not bad offshore, but they're really close together. I mean, they're really close together and they're sloppy. That means that you can find a very dangerous situation out there, even in a decent boat. If not dangerous, uncomfortable at the best. So anyway, that's one of the things here about winds, waves, and generally the higher the winds that we have, the bigger the waves are, and quite often the period between the waves will be a lot shorter. So pay attention to all of that. So don't get surprised when you get out there and you say, "Oh, the winds are only going to be 5 knots today," and you get out there and the winds are maybe 5 knots and the seas are 5 feet. It can happen.
Right.
Okay, and they can be 2 seconds apart.
Why did you explain what a special marine warning is?
Special marine warning is when they anticipate, they know for a fact that something is getting ready to change, like the wind direction, the wind or the winds will be increasing, maybe changing around to a direction that is a little more obnoxious. A lot of folks say, "Oh, I don't want to go out on a northeasterly wind." Well, here along this area, the Onslow Bay area, a northeasterly wind, you can go out and the ocean will be just as smooth as anything you've ever seen because it's blocked by the landmass. It's coming off the land.
Right.
Because of the way the curvature that we have here. But you get offshore now, you go out there 5 or 6 miles, you don't have that land protection anymore. And you got a strong northeasterly wind, you could have some strong seas to go with it. That's just what it is. Now, the National Weather Service and the Marine Division up there at Newport, they put out marine warnings or marine advisories. You'll often find an advisory. Conditions are right. Keep your eye on the weather. Even when you get out there, you go out in the morning, the inlet's smooth and calm. And if the wind is going to change directions, and the marine forecast folks know about it, which they generally do, they'll put out a marine advisory. We're suddenly going to get increased winds. So that nice calm inlet that you went out might not be so calm when you try to come back in it.
And that's the reason why you have a radio.
You got radio. Keep your radio. And today's marine VHF radios, if you program them right, you can punch up the whatever your local, the closest NOAA weather radio is, and you will get an alert on that just like you do on your weather radio at home. And then all you have to do is push a button and you're right there listening to it.
Because you never know when a
You
storm
never
may
know.
pop up.
Okay, marine radios are relatively cheap. $150 can get you a radio, and antenna is going to be about the same price if you get a decent one. So, for $300, you're in business. Okay.
That's right.
Okay, what else we got?
Love it. Okay.
I got something.
All right.
So in New Bern, there was an incident at the mall there, and it took place between a mother and her nonverbal autistic son. And the son, because an autistic child will often hit a caregiver, a parent, because this is just what they do. The police were called, and they actually handcuffed the child, which to me should have never happened.
Ooh.
The mom is upset, and she wants change, which I don't blame her. And I think this highlights, and what I have said for a long time, that because law enforcement are often the first people on the scene, they need specialized training. This is not CIT training. And I want to be clear about that. CIT training, crisis intervention training, yes. But when you're dealing with someone autistic, especially an autistic child or an autistic adult, there needs to be specialized training for law enforcement and first responders on dealing specifically with that population. And in my opinion, the training needs to be taught by people that deal with that population. This should have absolutely never happened. You don't handcuff a nonverbal at that autistic child. That should not have happened.
Now, here back, maybe you said the mother called and explained the child was autistic.
No.
They did not know this when they got there?
When they got there, the mother said that New Bern police did know because they know who she is.
Okay.
Police have been called to her, but she didn't call the police. Some bystander did.
The dispatch knew.
The police have dealt with her before, so they knew.
The police department, we got 200 cops in Jacksonville. Not every cop knows everybody.
But this was New Bern, but yes. And she apparently attempted to tell them he's nonverbal, and they handcuffed him and put him in the police car, which I have no doubt.
What was he doing?
Hitting the mom, which is what nonverbal autistic children do because they cannot communicate. Something, he either got overstimulated, he got scared, like something occurred to make him. And when you're autistic, you do not, how do I say this? You do not process things the way a quote normal person would.
Yeah.
And the mom attempted to tell them that they didn't arrest him or anything, but the alderman of New Bern is in the mayor. They're not doing an investigation. They said they're actually going to release the body. She's asked for the body cam footage.
Yeah,
to be
they're
released.
supposed to be releasing the tapes. They did a news conference on it. It was a situation they got there, and he was out of control. They didn't understand. But
the minute she said he's autistic, they should have stopped right then and there, and they didn't. And I think this highlights, just like I have said before. I know that law enforcement does the CIT training, and I know that because I've actually attended CIT training with law enforcement. But there also needs to be training not only for how to deal with autistic people, but also how to deal with individuals like schizophrenic, people in psychosis. CIT training is overall, but I also think first responders need that specialized because dealing with you will deal with someone in a schizophrenia psychosis differently than you will an autistic kid. Or someone suicidal, for example. It is not a one-size-fits-all crisis approach.
Yeah.
I just think that, when they're looking for a lot of these trainings, and they are out there, they need to start specializing because law enforcement has to deal with a lot of situations on a daily, on a minute basis. And they, if they're not properly trained, something's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
They just need more training. It needs to be what I would call specialized training. So
how would you deal with a person, walk up, kid's 15 years old,
Mhm.
a small kid too,
Mhm.
and the kid is kind of like going nutso, but
Mhm.
the cop recognizes him as being likely on drugs,
Mhm.
nothing else, just on
Right.
drugs. And you reach out to take custody of this individual because he's a
Mhm.
harm to himself. Whether
Correct.
you're going to arrest him or not, you have to do safekeeping on him
Yes.
to prevent him doing himself or you or anybody else any harm.
Yeah.
The kid's on PCP.
Oh, then definitely you have to handcuff.
Well,
him.
didn't know it
Yeah.
until I grabbed him.
Uh-huh.
And,
And he acted a fool, didn't he?
Oh, no, he was acting a fool to begin with.
Yeah, but even more.
But
yeah.
no, he was just very powerful.
Yes.
Now, I was even, I'm a big guy now, but,
Mhm.
back then I was a lot more,
Yeah.
a lot stronger.
I definitely would have handcuffed him.
Well,
immediately.
how do you handcuff him?
I know,
when
it's hard.
you're
It's like-
when you're putting him in a bear hug to keep him from
It's
flailing.
like fighting a greased pig. No, I understand.
A very powerful grease
Yes.
pig,
Yes.
a hog.
Yeah.
So, and I held him there long enough to get somebody else. They
You
came
would have to
running.
have more than one person.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
And that's what so many people don't understand when they see police piling on.
Yeah.
Sometimes a guy is so resistant
Yeah.
that he's going to hurt himself or you or whoever.
Well, a lot of it's for the safety. Absolutely.
Now, you do have, if it's totally self-defense purposes, you
Mhm.
can pop him one time.
Mhm.
You can do that. You can spray him, and nobody likes pepper spray.
No, because
I
that can
don't.
blow back on you if
It
you're
does.
outside.
It
and there's
always blows
wind.
back on
Yeah.
me. So I don't like it. And popping him is just one of those things. Then you got to go and fill out a bunch of paperwork,
it's a
and
mess,
then
yeah.
you got to take him to the hospital. That you, I mean, it's not good because when you tap somebody, sometimes you break things.
Yeah. I agree.
That's the way it is.
Mhm.
So piling on until you can get him subdued, it looks awful on TV,
It does, but there's a reason for it.
but they don't hurt the person.
No.
When they pile on him and just hold him down until somebody can get cuffs on him
Mhm.
and occasionally put shackles on him.
Yeah.
Because if they're that radical, sometimes you need to do
Well,
that.
sometimes depending on what the situation is, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't want to get up
Yeah.
and running away with a pair of handcuffs on them either.
I've seen people do that.
Yeah, I have
actually,
too.
I have seen it in California. Yeah.
This happened right down the street here at the medical center.
And it is not, I mean, I've never understood that, but if you're not in your right mind or you're having some kind of issue, you aren't thinking clearly. But I've actually seen people that were thinking clearly
Yeah, well,
that thought to
the
do that.
guy
I'm
over
like,
here,
wow, where are you going to go? And you can't, I mean, I know,
They get them off.
but I
sooner or
can't
later.
understand how people even that are handcuffed, sometimes you hear stories that they get out of the handcuffs. I'm still trying to figure that out. How did that happen?
I'm not going to tell you how it can happen.
Okay.
There's,
No.
there's a second lock
Mhm.
that you're supposed to go through with.
Yeah, there's one to keep them from actually intentionally
But
tightening
but
up.
you know, like you hear the stories like they were in the back seat and they get out of the handcuffs, they steal the car kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
Like, how did they get them? Yeah. So I've always
They
wondered.
We'll take a break.
weren't properly handcuffed.
Okay.
Well,
Just out of
that could
curiosity.
be, but let's take a break. You're live and local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM WSME.
Hurricane season is here, and if you're not prepared, now's the time to visit Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Moorhead Plaza in Moorhead City. Whether for the contractor or do-it-yourselfer, Williams Hardware has the tools and accessories to help protect against high winds and water. Williams Hardware carries power tools and equipment, chains and fasteners, plumbing and electrical supplies. Williams Hardware, your helpful, handy hardware store, also cuts glass to size and cuts and threads pipe. When the chores are done and the cleanup is finished, light up that Wilmington Grill for Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Moorhead Plaza in Moorhead City. Williams Hardware is open Monday through Saturday from 7:30 till 6 p.m. and Sundays for your convenience, noon till 5. Phone Williams Hardware, 252-726-7158, and be prepared this hurricane season.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
Mills International Incorporated, your local Cub Cadet dealer, is ready for summer, and you should be too. With the Cub Cadet zero-turn lawn tractors and walk-behind lawnmowers from Cub Cadet, all engineered with premium features, leaving you with a well-manicured lawn. Stop by Mills International Incorporated today and unlock the possibilities of your yard. With Cub Cadet, head to your local Cub Cadet dealer, Mills International Incorporated, at 801 South Queen Street for exceptional offers, expert advice, and superior service. Crystal Coast Habitat for Humanity invites you to be part of their third annual Casino Night on Saturday, August 12th at 34 North in Cedar Point from 5 to 10 p.m. All proceeds will benefit Crystal Coast Habitat for Humanity's vision, a world where everyone has a decent place to live. They look with Casino Night to help support their mission of seeking. Habitat for Humanity brings people together to build homes. It's Habitat for Humanity's third annual Casino Night, Saturday, August 12th at 34 North in Cedar Point from 5 to 10 p.m. Come join them for a fun night of gambling, music, food, and prizes. To purchase tickets, visit HabitatCrystalCoast.org. That's HabitatCrystalCoast.org or call 910-250-6052 for more information.
It's not for everyone, only for you. The medication your doctor prescribes is exclusively yours to take as directed. Nobody else should be taking it. It's up to you to keep your medication secure and to safely dispose of any unused medications. Don't let anyone take what's yours. Your prescription, your responsibility. Be aware, don't share. Lock your meds.
Supported by NCDHHS, Division of Mental Health, Developmental Disabilities, and Substance Abuse Services. Visit lockyourmeds.org/NC.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
And we're back. Okay, so this guy walks into a place, right? And he said, "Hey, how much is the rent for this gorgeous apartment?" So a guy says, "Sir, this is a liquor store."
Yeah, I've heard that one.
So many people these days are just too judgmental. I can tell just by looking at them how judgmental they are.
What's a 3-letter word that starts with gas?
With gas?
Mm-hmm.
A 3-letter word. How about gas?
Car.
Oh.
There, weren't you?
Gas starts with gas.
Okay.
Most people don't think I'm as old as I am until they hear me stand up. Oh, God, that's so true these days. Okay, what else we got cooking around there? New York PD, NYPD Blue Star. Did you ever watch that show?
I love that show. It was one of my favorites.
That was one of my favorites.
I think that's my computer. What in the world?
Not mine.
Hearing talking.
I am too, but I don't know where it's coming. It was mine.
Okay.
Somehow
I
it
was like,
became
what am I hearing?
It became unmuted, and I'm
I
like
hearing
going.
stuff.
Anyway, a guy that was on there, he was a child star on NYPD Blue. His name is Austin Majors. He died 27 years old, I think it is. Cause of death, fentanyl overdose.
Yeah. Wow. I wonder where David Caruso is these days. I loved that show.
Yep.
And every time you get a good one, they don't stay.
No, it was on several. Let's see, that and what was the other one?
Hill Street Blues.
Hill Street Blues.
Mm-hmm.
That one went off after the first season.
I know it.
Until such a clamor from the audience, the viewers. What are you doing? They said, well, the ratings weren't there. You didn't rate, you didn't check me. And they had to bring it back. So they brought it back and it stayed several more seasons. That to me, really cool show. Both of those. I like NYPD Blue and in that one. And I like Blue Bloods.
Yes.
A lot of people don't. They think it's too corny. It's not too corny. It's what cops really sometimes what they actually have to deal with, and it shows that they're human.
It's a good show.
They're human beings. Yeah. Ways in one. They have a personal life and personal issues and personal this and personal that. But anyway, so that's just one of the shows that I like. So it's time for the new ones to come on here in the next couple of months,
I
month and a half.
hope if they get done with the
The
writers'
writer's strike
yeah,
was
that
keeping
thing.
everything off.
That thing.
Yeah.
Those
actors
writers.
are right out there online striking.
Yeah, well,
Well, they got no choice. They can't work because
Wish
anything
the
for them to
writers
work
would-
on.
let's get it settled. Let's
what
get
is
I
money?
got shows I want to watch.
Rights or what? Working conditions?
It's working conditions. It's
what
money.
kind of working conditions?
It's money.
What kind of working conditions can a writer have?
Well, a lot of them is
Old
their
typewriters?
deadlines.
Their computer doesn't run up to
Excuse
speed.
me.
They need a
Hold
new
on,
one
I'll
every
tell you
day.
exactly what they're.
What else
They've
are
been
they
striking
griping
for
about?
100 days now.
But
Yeah.
do you see how we're so dependent on people like that?
Yeah, we are. And then we got Jeopardy. They're coming back on, but they're going to use some of the old contestants that they've used, and some of the same questions.
I'm over Jeopardy.
I am
Just
too.
I
over
love
it.
Jeopardy. Are you
I
kidding?
don't anymore.
I love that show
All
so
the
much.
fussing and fighting over
And-
host and
Yeah, and then you got some of the guests on Jeopardy who were screaming and hollering. So Jeopardy has changed its policy. They come on and they compete. They don't win anything. Now there's going to be a $3,000 second place and a $2,000 third place prize.
don't you spend that much just going on the show?
Yes, you do, and that's the reason they're doing it. Is so that instead of paying them to spend the night in a hotel or flying them out there or whatever, they don't do that. I always thought they did, but they don't. I don't. Maybe they did before, but they don't now. I have not been doing it since COVID. So whatever.
Okay, I found some things. out.
Okay, what are they doing?
All right. Well, like the union demanded minimum staffing requirements for writers' rooms,
Minimum
minimum staff requirements
What
for the
kind of-
writers' room.
What do you mean?
Someone to get the coffee.
Yeah, like
Sharpen the pencils? What?
just I guess. I mean, I don't know. There's increased compensation based on the success of streaming shows, and a big one is limitations on use of our AI. The
Artificial
studio says they are. They'll discuss the AI, but they will not discuss the minimum staffing requirements. And they drew a line on the revenue sharing for the streaming shows, so it's kind of led to the standoff. Also, they were saying they wanted health benefits. So I'm still reading. There's more. There's a lot. Wow, they're upset about a lot. Of
So
things.
these shows that are streamed that do not make it mainstream, is that what they're talking about?
Well, they're talking about stuff like, for example,
Hallmark, for instance.
So let's say
Netflix.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about just the writers in general. So let's say we got a show. Let me pick a show. A show I love to watch a lot. CBS's Ghosts. That show is so funny. It's a comedy. It's like I think that's the best show on regular TV, personally. But that's just my opinion. And it's a comedy. It's funny, and it's a very successful show. Well, let's say that you're a writer for the show. I mean, the writing is exceptional. So I don't know who writes that show, but and whoever casted the show, they need some kind of a raise. But let's say you're a writer for that show. The show is doing so well. It was the number one show on CBS. So CBS is raking in, who knows how much money, but you're only getting paid like peanuts.
But they got paid based upon what they negotiated in the first place, right?
I think this is why unions can be both good and bad. I don't know what the pay is, but that's one of the things they're talking about.
You have the option of quitting and going somewhere else if they want to keep you. If your writing is so good that they want to keep you, they'll pay you more, right?
Right.
Do you realize how much some of these actors get per episode?
Yeah,
Okay, it was a labor dispute on May. They went on strike on May.
But don't
2nd.
do that. I'll
Wow,
talk to you
it's
about
been that
football
long?
and basketball players too.
Yeah,
wow.
True.
The last time they struck was in 2007 and 8. I don't remember that, but maybe I just
Oh, I do.
remember it. Okay, so What are the issues? There's a lot.
All right, you look them
Yeah,
up,
you
and
look 'em
we're
up while we
we're
answer
gonna
this
take a
call.
break, and then we got a caller waiting. So hang in there, caller. We'll be right back. You're live and local, Real Talk, Freedom 97.1.
Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro reminds you to check your mailbox and find your quote on homeowners insurance. Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro goes the extra mile to make sure you're in good hands, like helping you customize your home and windstorm coverage with their Write Your Own home policy. Yes, save even more when you bundle your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, and even your golf cart. Remember, if it rolls or floats, call Tammy for a quote. You and everything you own are in good hands with Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro. Call today, 910-326-5383. Tammy Fry Allstate, 638 West Corbett Avenue in the friendly city by the sea, Swansboro. Check your mailbox today for savings on your homeowner's insurance.
Since 1997, locally owned and operated Jersey Mike's, 301E Western Boulevard right here in Jacksonville, has provided only the best hot and cold subs and healthy salads to our community and our military neighbors, and thanks all our customers for making Jersey Mike's a sub above. Jersey Mike's features hot and cold subs in different sizes, served Mike's way or your way, in addition to delicious, healthy salads. To place your order or for takeout, phone 910-353-8091. Once again, Sam Duran and the staff of Jersey Mike's, 301E Western Boulevard, Jacksonville, thanks you for making them a sub above.
If your plans include hitting the road this year to do some traveling, make sure a visit to Silent Service Center is on your to-do list. Travel safety starts with the tires on your vehicle, and a visit to Silent Service Center will give you peace of mind with the best value in all name brand tires and the largest selection of used tires in this area. In addition to quality tires, Silent Service Center is a North Carolina inspection station and does complete brake service, oil changes, and alignment service. Silent Service Center, 1707 Lejeune Boulevard, Jacksonville, and 108 West Main Street, Havelock. Phone 910-353-4760. When you need comforting, who do you call? An old friend, right? Jacksonville Heating Contractors services the heating and cooling needs of our area with dependable quality train systems, guaranteeing indoor comfort for your home or business. In addition to quality train systems, Jacksonville Heating Contractors offers 24-hour emergency service, NATE certified technicians, and over 50 years of experience and service you can trust. And with a Jacksonville Heating Contractor service agreement, you never pay retail for heating or cooling services and receive priority scheduling. Remember, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And in New Bern, you can call Trent Heating and Air Conditioning 252-633-2200. In Morehead City, Sea Air Heating and Cooling 252-247-1122. If you need service or repairs, just call an old friend. Jacksonville Heating Contractors, an independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. For deals on train systems and more, visit anoldfriend.com or call 910-347-2843.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
And we're back, and I think this is Bill. Is that Bill?
Yes, it is. How are you this
Doing
morning?
fine, Bill. What's up?
But let's see. I was calling just, I guess, with a couple things that just came to mind. It hadn't been, sort of in line with all the other conversations. But when I was in the armed services, we always had M16s. We had the M16A1 and then the M16A2. And there was a couple things with the rifle that always seemed to be issues, that were passed on from probably the initial rifle, the M16. And it dealt with, they always called them gas rings. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am. That's the thing that leaks, and the shells are not extracted from the weapon.
Yeah, they would lose power, and it was like these little C-rings that were on the bolt itself.
Uh-huh.
And they would act as bushings, so as the bolt either locked or unlocked, it would keep the bolt in the bolt carrier evenly, so it wouldn't bind.
Right.
And they would clamp on just by pushing down into it, and they would spread and then snap down. And they were C-rings, so it had an opening gap. And gas from the rifle, it's a gas operated, and it would line up those rings both by the gas pushing past them, and the just gravity, just because there's an opening at the top. If you offset them after a while, they would rattle, and the majority of the weight, of course, is where there is the metal, and where there is no metal at the opening at the top, they would then all line up. So gas would leak, and you'd always have to take the rifle apart, offset the ring, and then put it back together after, say, 20 shots or so. And it was just one thing that was aggravating.
Wait a minute. This had to be done every 20 rounds?
Yeah. If you brought it out to like the ranges of Stone Bay or any of the other ranges, that after a while that you're shooting, you're zeroed, you're hitting bulls, and all of a sudden your rounds are dropping 10 yards at 200 meters. And there was more to it too. There might have been somebody had put a finite hole down through the gas tube and through the bulk carrier to make the gas leak out of the tube. Because realistically, it shouldn't lose any power, but it did.
Yeah.
And
well, that sounds more like a rifle that needed some armor or tension, rebuilding it.
Yeah, we used to talk with the armorers a lot about it, and they said they couldn't do anything because that was what it was contracted for, et cetera, et cetera.
Huh.
And you'd have someone would pull them off and bend them so that they would a little like corrugated kind of thing, just by bending them in that, so they would lock once they snap them on.
Okay, Bill, we're at the end of the show.
One other issue I was thinking of too was the
make it fast.
Say again.
Make it fast.
Okay, just a selector switch. You just have to take your hand off the pistol grip to move the selector switch, from fire or from safe to fire, automatic or whatever you had at the time, burst control. And if it was on the other side, the left side, where you could just push it with your thumb, it would have just, you wouldn't have to take your hand off the trigger.
Okay.
And the other to do it.
Maybe you ought to send that
comments. Maybe they can work on later.
Yeah, send that suggestion to Colt. How's that?
Say again?
Send that suggestion to Colt Arms. How's that?
Yeah, all right. Well, I'll send send out the Leatherneck or something, see if they can do something with it.
All right. Thank you, Bill. We got to go.
Yep.
Okay. 6 contestants of the Miss Universe Indonesia pageant. Heard about them?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Shouldn't it be Miss Indonesia, not Miss Universe Indonesia?
No, they're Miss Universe Indonesia. We have a Miss Universe US too.
Yeah.
Miss Universe America, whatever they call
I
it.
thought we had Miss America.
No, that's a different one. Miss Universe, in Miss America, you advance up to Miss America, all right?
Right.
From state
and
levels.
then you compete.
No, you don't compete anymore. That's it. Miss America is the top of that platform.
Right. And then
there's
Miss America goes to Miss Universe.
No, they do not. Then there's the Miss Universe pageant. That starts all over locally, then works up to Miss Universe North Carolina, Miss Universe, whatever, and then you compete in the Miss Universe, the Miss Universe US pageant. Then you compete in the Miss Universe overall pageant worldwide. So it's just too many different things. Anyway,
all right,
whatever.
So 6 contestants.
Miss Universe Indonesia, they filed complaints with the police against the organizers of that pageant, allegations of sexual harassment. They were allegedly subjected to topless body checks, according to their lawyer. Yep.
Why?
I don't know. 5 contestants of the Miss Universe Indonesia took place in the country's capital city, July 29th through August 3rd. They were they were told to strip down to their drawers for physical examination. Room filled with more than 20 men and women. The female contestants claimed they were then photographed topless, according to their lawyer. I felt like I was being peeked on.
And they
one
allowed
said.
that? Why did they do it?
I don't know why they did it. I have no clue. And the Miss Universe organization has said they've just been recently made aware of the allegations, and they're looking at that and examining the franchise in Indonesia that operates that pageant. So they're taking it seriously. Okay, let's take a break, 22 hours worth, and we'll be back on the other side. That'll be tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Have a good day. There's always a possibility of rain this time of year and an increasing chance of rain as we move into tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I hope we
Tomorrow
have a good
afternoon
rain.
might be rainy.
Yeah.
We need a good rain.
All right. You're live and local, Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME, coming up right after the Fox News break. Got a little bit of music. And then at 10 o'clock this morning is a lot of music with another dose of the Daily D's. His name is Rick, and he will be joining us at that time. And at 3 o'clock this afternoon, Rick will hand it off to the one and the only Hollywood will be in the house. Have a great rest of your day.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.